No, I mean, yeah, no, I think that's all great, but
Okay, good to see everybody. We were inside today. I hate to say I'm getting a little soft, but when you have 15 practices, we want to make sure we have a chance to really utilize the practices that we do have. Sean really threw the ball well today, is also Levi. And of course, as you guys know, we've got to improve our passing game. Do think we've got some weapons, Isaiah Nair and DJ Jennings and Traden Welsh and Parker Christensen. I think really possess some excellent skills as far as catching the ball and doing something with it. Good energy over on defense. Thought Cole Goodbough's doing some things. We were able to get through today. Chad Muma continues to be really impressive. He's carrying about 240 pounds. We certainly need all these spring practices, though. I've talked to a couple of my colleagues around the country. They've been shut down. They haven't been able to make through some of their spring practices. So we've got to stay COVID free. We're encouraging our players to vaccinate. We're getting a good portion that are able to do that. Able to get through today. I think Emmanuel Pregnon might have been the only guy, and that's a slight high ankle sprain. So in full pads, we're well pleased with that. So that's an opening statement. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. Tracy, you're up.
The quarterback situation too. Are both quarterbacks healthier and throwing better? And what was the exact cause of our problems for Levi?
I think a lot of it, Tracy, people don't know it. I mean, we were down to really one quarterback last year, and he had it wasn't a shoulder separation, but it was certainly some significant irritation in there. I don't know if there was some loose matter that was floating around on his throwing shoulder. And a lot of times he wasn't able to lift his arm above 90 degrees until like Wednesday. And so as a result of that, his delivery began to change. He certainly can improve. And I know Coach Polisek's working on his footwork right now to get his feet aligned up, but he started to have almost like I don't want to say a Sandy Koufax release. I think there's probably maybe the only two people on this call that know who Sandy Koufax is you and me. But Davis doesn't know who in the hell I'm talking about. Okay.
I think everybody knows who Sandy Koufax is.
All right. Well, anyhow, but that was part of the problem. Within our passing tree, we really had to scale some things back, and we were really way off. And what that forced us to do, Tracy, was become way 1-2 dimensional. When you're completing the ball right around 46%, it's hard to have a lot of confidence in your passing game. But Levi's much better. Sean is much better. And like I said, I think we've got some weapons. I told Tim Harkins this next week, too, as opposed to having me open up some of these conferences. We're going to have Jay Sauvel and Tim Polasek lead some of them. So it'll be some new guys to answer some pinpointed questions. So hopefully that gives you some answer, Tracy, between, his functionality, he had some flaws, and then it was a really rough deal on him with that shoulder.
Because I know a lot of people,
Mike, go ahead, Tracy.
Because I know a lot of people publicly have questioned whether his abilities as a quarterback, and I started thinking, I thought I'd heard he had a bad arm, that could have affected him a little bit.
It certainly did, and we didn't have much behind him. And, if anybody questions his ability, I don't know, go down to Tucson and see what he did in the Arizona Bowl. Thought he threw pretty doggone well. A lot of people were excited about him, and I was as well. But he's got to bounce back in his step. Tim's done a good job straightening some things out. Not to say that Coach Vegan wouldn't have, but it's just another year of maturity with those guys. Michael, you're up next.
Greg, I'm not sure if you heard, but there was an arrest made in the murder of Tony Evans this afternoon. I was just curious if you had any thoughts on that situation.
We knew, talking to Tony Sr., they felt like they had some leads right from, that tragic night and that next morning. And so we're encouraged about that. Obviously, everybody's due their due date in court, but a tragic event. Coach Grant and I are going to be traveling to Dallas over the weekend to attend some services. We'll talk to Tony Sr. then. But really a tragic event. I'm glad that there's beginning to have some closure and moving forward. And Tony Sr., a lot of people don't know this, is in law enforcement also. So I was aware of that. We were kind of kept abreast of that as the situation unfolded. Davis.
Greg, I heard you mention the other day that Latrell had moved back inside on the offensive line. Is that just because you have all your tackles back this spring?
Yeah, it really is. Last year, we did not have Alonzo Velasquez, and Frank had stepped in. Rudy's doing a good job there, but we've just got more depth, and really, Latrell, his best position, he's more of an inside player. A lot of people on the outside, what's the difference between a guard and tackle? Well, there's some significant differences. So he's playing both center and guard, and we're really excited about what he's doing. And we're excited about what we're able to do on the flanks right now.
So is Rudy running with the ones at left tackle? Is he back there?
We're rotating guys. So yes, he is. You know what? We've got Alonzo, Frank Crum, Rudy's all working in there. Yes, Michael.
I'm not sure if it's been ratified yet, but the NCAA is more than likely going to do its one-time transfer exception.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's been it's a hot topic among college coaches. I was wondering what your thoughts on that are.
Yeah, this is something that we've talked about for the last couple of years, and I knew it was coming. Particularly wasn't fond of it. Very few coaches are, but we'll adjust. Without question, what I've heard they're going to do is open up a notification date. The NCAA has received a significant amount of criticism with the waiver process, and I think the presidential council looked at and said, okay, what's in the best interest of the student athlete? These are the rules. We, as a as a program, excuse me, we've not had a lot of guys that have placed their name in the transfer portal. That doesn't mean that we won't have some guys in the future, but we had a long staff meeting today to address, what our long-term strategy is going to be. And, the NCAA's made that decision. We'll roll with it. I don't think it's necessarily a great decision, but, those are the rules, and we will adapt here at Wyoming. Davis.
Craig, there's this belief on this rule that basically the group of five can become like a minor league system almost for the Power Five conferences. Do you worry about, Power Five programs poaching players that way?
Well, a couple things, and I'm going to give somewhat of a long answer here. First of all, the transfers go both ways. I sit on the oversight committee with the AD at Alabama, and they had their backup quarterback, ended up starting at Arkansas State. There's always going to be some type of movements. What our hopes is that our players recognize that they can accomplish everything they want to at the University of Wyoming. And they're going to be able to get a meaningful degree from a great flagship university. They're going to have an opportunity to play in a great conference, the Mountain West Conference. And then along with that, some guys have the aspiration to play in the NFL. And what a lot of people don't realize, Davis, last year we had 14 players on the opening day active roster. And that's more than half the Big 12, and that's more than half the Pac-12 schools. And so guys have an opportunity to be found, have an opportunity to have their skills in the NFL. We're a developmental program, and they have a chance to get a great degree. And so whether some guys are being looked at other schools, we can't control that. Our whole deal is we're going to be open and honest and transparent on what kind of guy we want at the University of Wyoming, have a program that can develop them, they can get a meaningful degree and have a chance to really play on some great teams, and then hopefully some of them play in the NFL. So, we're going to let the chips fall where they may. Yes, Davis.
Hey, Craig, in terms of COVID testing now, how frequently are you guys doing that? And if you have vaccinations, do you still have to be tested? Is everybody being tested? How's that working?
Yeah, currently right now, whether like I'm vaccinated and past that 2-week date, but we're testing twice a week. We get the results back right away. How long that goes, I don't know. I know the university as a whole is looking at a lot of things. I know the Mountain West is as well. So that's where we're at. We've had 2 players who've tested positive over the last couple of weeks. I know that the rates have spiked in Albany County, but right now we're doing a good job staying pretty COVID-free. Okay, guys, anything else? And like I said, next week we'll have Coach Swavell one day and then Coach Polasek, and you'll have to wait on me for the next week after that. Hopefully that's okay. All right, gentlemen, thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Michael, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Hey, CJ, how's it going?
How you doing?
Good, good. When I think it was a couple weeks ago, Craig told us that he kind of feels like that you and Azizi kind of have those first 2 spots at corner held down pretty well. What are your thoughts on the secondary and the depth, particularly at your spot?
I feel pretty comfortable about the young guys. They learn it after us, me and Zizi. So I feel comfortable and confident in them. Like if we couldn't do it, they could get in there and do it too. That's all.
That's it.
Tracy, go ahead. You're on mute.
Yeah, I can't hear.
Tracy, you're on mute.
Okay, finally. With all the different changes in the coaching staff that have come about, has that affected the defensive approach very much? Has it changed things the way you guys are going after situations?
Not really. It ain't changed the hustle or the grind for us during practice. Like they preach run. Don't know loafs, we big on loafs, and I just feel more confident in our coaching staff. They were being new, from them being new last year. The kind of rush start we had and stuff like that. So they was rushing. Now they have more time. Spring ball, we didn't get one of those last year, so we got that this year. So I feel like we're gonna be more comfortable and confident.
Hey, CJ, the offense has a new coordinator in Coach Polasek. I'm just curious from a defensive perspective, trying to defend them every day. Is there any big changes, any noticeable differences between maybe what they ran under Coach Vegan to now?
Not to be, like no disrespect to Coach Vegan or anything, but I feel like they're attacking people a lot more. Well, us right now, as of now, but I feel like they will attack people a lot more and, try to go for the deep ball, those shots. You will see a lot more of those, a lot more movement with the offense as far as like motioning, a lot of different things that Vegan didn't do. So I like Coach Polasek. He's a cool guy.
CJ, obviously you guys are, Braden and Rome and all those guys are coming back at safety. How do you kind of see the safety position kind of breaking down with Rome coming back after not playing last year, and just how important is it to have those guys?
It's important because depth, obviously, and I just feel like it's just going to be a lot of competition for people. In that room alone, I feel like it'll be a lot of competition. So they're going to be competing all spring and fall camp. So I'll be happy to see whoever in that starting spot.
Go ahead, Tracy.
CJ, with all the different transfer portals right now, when you look around at other schools, for you guys to have basically lost 2 players by their own choice, one of them a graduate type.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? How do you feel about that with the continuity that you're gonna have that other teams maybe won't be having?
I didn't even know about that. Like, Honestly, I try to stay out of the media and stuff. So I don't really know how to feel about that because I don't know. I didn't really have an input on that.
I just meant from within your group that so many of your guys stayed at Wyoming as opposed to looking for other places to go to school.
I feel like the quote Coach Bowles says all the time, those who stay will be champions. And I believe in that. I'm a firm believer in that. And he's been saying that since I've gotten here. So I believe in that, and I believe in our coaching staff, and our players do too, especially the ones who stayed.
Thank you.
CJ, you mentioned some of the younger guys and being comfortable with them. Has anyone who specifically has kind of caught your eye over the first couple of weeks?
I like Cam Stone. I like X Carter. I like them all. They all show good things and different things they can do throughout the defense and different coverages. They just got to stay consistent. We just have to stay consistent as a group, just getting better every day and moving around.
All right, we got any more questions, guys? All right, thanks, CJ.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, CJ.
All right, guys, we got Logan Harris here. Davis, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Logan, you got a new offensive coordinator and Coach Polasek. I'm just curious. I know it's early in spring, but is there any noticeable difference? Anything that you notice that's different about what you guys are doing under him as opposed to Coach Vegan?
Yeah, I think there's a big change in energy throughout the practices. I know talking to a lot of guys on the offensive side of the ball, this is the most fun that they've had practicing, and everybody knows that 24-period practices during spring ball can get pretty grueling. So I think definitely he brings a really good energy, and he's always there to correct you. If you mess up, he's going to correct you. He's not going to MF you or anything, and he just has that good energy, and he's a pickup guy, not a put down guy.
Logan, I don't think I've spoken to you since you decided to come back for another year. I'm curious what kind of went into your decision and why did you feel like it was the right move to come back for another year?
To me, it's kind of a no-brainer. Just kind of having that last season, it left a sour taste in everybody's mouth. I was sick for 2, I think, of the games. And it's always just an opportunity to better yourself. And I kind of think about it like during practice and stuff. And like, this is my last spring ball. I don't have any more winter conditionings left, and time's running out. And there's no more, I guess you say, lollygagging. You kind of, this is it. And I didn't have the redshirt year, and so I'm glad I was able to get an extra year and spend full 5 years here with the guys that I came in with and meet new people.
CJ, what do you think it says for the attitude of the team that there's only been 2 legitimate people transfer out this year, where the transfer for a lot of schools is pretty high? You guys are among the lowest in the country.
Yeah, I think you heard CJ before. I think everybody just appreciates the culture here in Laramie. It's a different culture. It's like nowhere else. Like we've been every spring practice we've had to deal with snow. I'm sure a lot of teams don't have to deal with that. And it's just the culture that Coach Bowles built around here. And having new staff come in, it brings not new hope, but just good change. Change isn't always bad. And I think everybody's buying into it. And we're seeing things in spring ball in the last 5 practices that we've never seen here before since I've been here, which is really exciting. So I think that's what it is. Everybody's bought in, and as Coach says, those that stay will be champions.
Thank you.
Logan, pretty much everybody that we've talked to has kind of brought up, Sean, even just like being out there kind of brings a different energy and swagger. Is it really that noticeable? Just kind of just him being out there?
Yeah. The best way to describe Sean is he's Sean. He came out his freshman year. Being put in that position as a freshman is really tough, being able to command an offense. And you saw that spark. You went from 2-6 to 6-6 real quick. And just his attitude. Even when he was out during last year, when he was there in practices, he's able to pick guys up, and guys listen to him, guys follow him. because he just has that energy that he puts out. But definitely having him out there and competing is fun. It's real fun.
Hey, Logan, did everybody sort of accept the opt-outs back, the guys that opted out last year? Did you sense any animosity toward that last season at all?
No, not at all. As everybody's decision, it's out of all respect. I know a lot of guys, they either had family members that they were living with at the time that were dealing with, they had underlying conditions and they couldn't get it. And there's nothing against those guys at all.
What Logan? What are your impressions of Coach Frazier so far?
He's awesome. I think it's kind of a blessing and a curse that we've had this many switch ups at the offensive line, but everything is able to carry over. Some coaches are more technicians and the other guys are get the guy and move him out of the way and play hard. And being able to cross all these things over has definitely helped when you can combine the technique with the drive and the playing style just going. It definitely carries over and it makes you the best that you can be.
Which one is Coach Frazier?
Coach Frazier's both. He's kind of in the middle of what we've had. He's really good with technique. He's smart. He's seen some of the best linemen in the nation. He was at the Jets previous to this, and he sees what it takes to get to that level and what works best, because at that level it's not easy. And if we can combine those things here at this level, there's nothing we can't do.
All right, we got any more questions, guys? All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
Logan.
you.
Thanks, Logan.